Hi everyone, in today's video, we are going to get started with GitHub Copilot in VS Code. GitHub Copilot is an AI-powered coding assistant that is developed by GitHub in collaboration with OpenAI. It helps developer write code faster and more efficiently by suggesting code completion, entire function, or even complex algorithm as you typing code in editors like VS Code, JetBrains IDE, or Visual Studio. Copilot performs best with language that have large open source communities and lots of public code available. In order to understand Copilot, you need two things. First, you need to install VS Code on your machine. Second is to access to GitHub Copilot. There are different ways to get access to GitHub Copilot. First is to be an individual type of user. Second is to be an organization or enterprise member. In order to use Copilot in Visual Studio Code, you need to have access to GitHub Copilot with your GitHub account. So let's check out what are available plans with GitHub Copilot. I have opened a documentation link of GitHub Copilot, right? If I click on Manage Copilot and click on Manage for Individual and then click on Get Started with Copilot, we have GitHub Copilot Free, we have GitHub Copilot Pro, GitHub Copilot Pro Plus. We are going to cover this GitHub Copilot Free plan, which includes up to 2000 code completions in IDs per month. No subscription or payment required. It is absolutely free. It is intended for personal use only, not for user managed by organization or enterprise. Especially, it is beneficial for developers who want to explore Copilot's capability before upgrading it to the paid plan. And we see the pricing criteria that we have. GitHub Copilot is absolutely free. We don't need to pay anything. But if you go with GitHub Copilot Pro, then you have to pay this much of amount. If you want to get more advanced feature from GitHub Copilot, then you have to go with GitHub Copilot Pro Plus. So I have my GitHub personal account with me where I keep my whole code repositories. I'm in the settings section of my profile where you will see a Copilot navigation. Under this, we have feature and coding agents links. I have opened features tab where I could see that I have GitHub Copilot free plan which is currently running. We are limited to 2000 code completion and 50 chat messages per month only. Okay, because this is a free plan. We have these models which actually help us to get the suggestions and the improvements on the code. So now let's set up GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio Code. So I have opened Visual Studio Code instance on my machine, right? There is a one demo project that is also opened where we add our tutorials. So first, what we have to do, we have to just install a GitHub Copilot extension on Visual Studio Code. Just click on the extensions link and type GitHub Copilot. First is the GitHub Copilot, another is GitHub Copilot Chat. All right. So these two extensions, first you have to install in Visual Studio Code, then we have to configure the GitHub account in Visual Studio Code. You can see over here in the middle of the title, you will see a GitHub Copilot icon. When you click on it, it will ask you to continue with your GitHub account. I'm gonna click on this button. It is now authorizing my GitHub account with Visual Studio Code. So this is my personal GitHub account that I'm going to continue for my Visual Studio Code instance. I click on continue. I am authorized. Okay, now check your account section. It is now saying that we are authorized to access Copilot chat. It is also saying that we have logged in this Visual Studio instance with our personal GitHub account. I have restarted my Visual Studio Code instance again. If you see over here that we have a list of models to get suggestion for our code, right? Okay. Any moment, if you want to disable your GitHub Copilot from your Visual Studio Code instance, you can just search the extensions and click on disable. Anytime you can disable or you can uninstall it so that your code will not take any suggestions from AI models. So this is the Copilot chat window. You can close it down or you can reopen this window from this icon button. You can see that we have three type of things in this chat. First, we have a context, we can attach any file in this chat window and we can get the suggestions. We have participants, we can address to any participants. We can select the participants and type our question. Okay, as soon as we enter, we will get the answer. We have also other feature to get more useful command or more relevant prompt with help of this slash. As soon as you type in slash over here, you will get more commands. This will make your prompts more relevant. As soon as you type in new that, you can create new items in your workspace. I'm gonna show you first code suggestions by Copilot. Let me close it down, create a new Python file, copilot test.py. So as soon as I created this new Python file in this folder, some text is showing on my new file. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna create a new calculator class which will actually generate operation for the calculator with the help of Copilot, right? You see, as soon as I type in calculator, now Copilot is suggesting the code, right? It is suggesting the operations add, subtract, multiply, divide. These are the basic operation of calculator. As soon as you press tab, so this suggestion is going to be accepted. Isn't it very quick? Because these many of lines, if a developer writes, developer may take 4 to 5 minutes. If you want to use the calculator, create a object of calculator. As soon as we type tab, so our code is going to be accepted, right? And we say c dot add. And you see that parameters is also passed by the copilot, right? 1 or 2. As soon as I press tab, so code is accepted, right? We can print. If you run the program, so your program will run successfully. You see, 3. Okay, let's generate some code in other way, right? Typing, write a program to calculate factorial of a number. As soon as I press tab, so it is showing me that the factorial function will look like this. I press enter, press tab, so it is now showing me the code snippet. Press tab, so this code will be accepted. You see, your factorial function is ready. You don't need to type so many lines. Okay, if you want to use print factorial and it has also passed 5. Okay, as soon as I press tab, so the code will be accepted. It is also showing that the output will be 120. If you run the program, you will see that the output is 120. Let's use editor inline chat to generate code for MySQL connector, right? Suppose you want to connect with MySQL database and you want a code snippet. Let me remove this calculator class. I just press Ctrl plus I. Okay, so this is an inline chat. So I'm saying connect with MySQL database. You see that your basic connectivity code is suggested by Copilot. So either you accept it or you close it to reject the code, right? I click on accept. This is called a inline chat on GitHub Copilot, right? Now let me show you how to refactor your code through AI chat. You can also use editor inline chat to refactor or improve existing code in the editor. If you notice over here, we have passed a hard-coded value 5 in this factorial method to get the output. But we want to ask user to input some value and pass to this factorial method. We have to open the inline chat window by pressing Ctrl plus I and type ask user to input value to factorial method. As soon as you press enter, Copilot will provide you the code with input statement. Run the program, you will be asking to input a number. I say that 5 and you will get 120. One thing you must have noticed that Copilot not only provided you the input statement and pass to the factorial method, but also handles the conversion of the value from the console. You see that? So value provided from the console will be converted first into the integer value. Now let's chat for general programming things, right? We have this Copilot icon here. If you want to select the ask mode, that you can ask anything Copilot window, right? What is the prime number? It will give you all the details. Okay, it will say that primary number is a natural number greater than 1 and it has no positive divisor. Let me ask, what is the factorial of a number? Okay, it is also giving the example. Here we have a context to refer our files where we want to get the suggestions, right? If you want to refer any of your file, you can just click on add context and you can refer that mysql demo.py. So what does that mean? It means that you are asking Copilot to get the help for these particular contexts for both the files. If you want to select the edit mode, so which means that you are now asking Copilot to edit your specific files. Okay, which files? Which you will refer over here. Now I'm saying add doc strings to all the methods to provide documentation, which means that all the methods inside these both files will be documented by the Copilot. I press enter. So edit mode will start looking into the file and provide the documentation information. Okay, you see that Copilot has started adding the documentation on all the methods. If you see the next change, that you will see next change from clicking here. Okay, if you are happy with the proposed change, then you just click on keep, or you can click on undo. Click on yes, so all the proposed change will go away. Let me add other file as well, add context, that I'm going to take this new file that we have just created and ask the same questions by pressing up arrow key. Okay, press enter again. Okay, by mistake I think we have added the same file again. Maybe let me click on add Copilot test. I had it Copilot test. So we have made a mistake. Let me copy the statement again and paste it over here. If you click on each of the files, then you will be able to see the documentation, right? On Copilot underscore test, that factorial function now is being decorated with some documentation, right? If you see the other file, then documentation has been provided. Let me click on keep. So changes are accepted by me. Now I want to show you one more thing which is very important in Copilot is fixing code errors with AI. Let's say there is some bug in your code. For example, this is a factorial number and by mistake you have removed something from the code, but you don't know what is this. You have saved the file, then your output will not correct. You see that output is wrong because by mistake developer committed the changes they don't know. Now Copilot will tell you that you have made a mistake and this logic is not correct. You can correct it out. So how you can ask for fixing the code is to just select those suspect lines and you see that the sparkle icon is just showing. You click on it. You just say that modify using Copilot slash and click on fix. Hit enter and it will show you the bug in the code. You see that this issue is that a loop should include n itself. So you should use range to n plus 1 instead of range to n. Okay, it is now proposing this fix. As soon as click on accept, so this fix will be applied to your code. You see, now if you run the program again, so your output will be shown correctly. Let me save it, run the program again. You see that output is 120. In this tutorial, you successfully used AI feature in VS Code to get code completion in the editor and use chat to ask questions and generate code edits.
That brings us to the end of the today's video. We hope you found it informative and engaging. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content on all things tech related. Thanks for watching and we will see you in the next video.